The NFL news cycle is really starting to heat up with all the things that have been popping off, especially around the San Francisco 49ers. But so many moves are being made. A lot of stuff is happening with the Brandon Ayuk rumors and all of that. Debo Samuel gets traded, Devontae Adams released, and now, as you can see, Jordan Mason has entered the mix. So let's talk about why Jordan Mason is a point of discussion with the San Francisco 49ers heading into this next season. He is a restricted free agent, which means the 49ers kind of control what the future holds for Jordan Mason, whether he's with the Niners or with another team. They can slap a second round tender on him. That would give other teams the opportunity to present an offer sheet for him, and then the 49ers would either match it or decline it and take a draft pick, and then he goes elsewhere. So it's fascinating to kind of think about what the 49ers could do here because with what we saw from him and Jordan Mason, and we all know, especially on this channel, big fan of Jordan Mason and what he brings to the table, he could be a valuable asset. And Matthew Berry, who was at the NFL Combine and, you know, ear hustling and doing all that, he has this column and he mentions and provides a bit of an update about Jordan Mason and how he has actually been discussed in trades, at least in interest from other teams. So let's take a look at what he says here. He says, I asked about Christian McCaffrey's health. San Francisco has no concerns and fully expects him to be healthy and ready for training camp. With Jordan Mason as his backup, I asked, and he was told not necessarily. There's actually been a lot of trade inquiries about Mason. Don't be surprised if Jordan Mason, who proved he could be a legit starting running back in the NFL last season, gets dealt. He goes on to clarify, this is just me talking, but I feel like it's not an NFL draft until Kyle Shanahan has taken a late round running back. So although there is some speculation in here, he does say that there have been a lot of teams kind of poking around to see what it would take to get Jordan Mason. So, as we know, Jordan Mason was an undrafted free agent out of Georgia Tech. Anything that the 49ers get for Jordan Mason in a potential trade would be a win because you're taking a guy that you got for you didn't spend any capital on, and then you're flipping him for capital. We've seen the 49ers do that with guys like Jeff Wilson, who was an undrafted free agent. They flipped him for a fifth round draft pick. So they have done this before, but I would have to say that Jordan Mason would be more valuable than a fifth round draft pick. And they would have to decide, is he worth a second round pick? Is he worth a third round draft pick? When you and it's a tough one though, because also this is a really stacked draft class in regards to running backs. So that might hurt the value a little bit. But the fact that teams are poking around and looking to potentially trade for him, this might make the most sense for the 49ers to trade him because they would get the most value in return. I would say if they traded him at this point, and that would give them the opportunity to either stack more players or more draft picks and kind of keep moving towards what I've been calling this mini rebuild, where they really are going to, identify their core players right now. And there's a lot of changes that are going to be coming. So is Jordan Mason a franchise piece, or is he a guy that, you appreciated, you see the talent and you see the value, but the value would just be too hard to pass up. So that's really where the question lies is, do the 49ers trade him? Considering the fact that we've already discussed they might have to match a contract if they want to keep him or just take a draft pick anyways as a restricted free agent. So We shall see what happens here. I think the emergence of Isaac Garendo could lend itself that the 49ers would lean towards trading Jordan Mason. And like I mentioned, you could theoretically maybe get some draft picks and then go draft Cam Scatterbo, who the 49ers met with at the NFL Combine. Very similar type of back. You kind of reset with a rookie who's cost controlled, or you go late round again or undrafted, and just get more backs that way. Because again, I think with what we are seeing right now with the 49ers from a organizational standpoint is they're trying to get their costs under control. I think they have been kind of in the all in category of spending, and they have been spending pretty big now, and now it feels like they are kind of pivoting to, especially with the Brock Purdy contract coming up, trying to really reshape this roster in a way that's younger and cheaper. So, does Jordan Mason find himself on the outside looking in that case? Very well could, but honestly, I would understand the move if they decided to trade him. Now, a big fan, like I said, big fan of Jordan Mason. Wouldn't mind keeping him around, but based on the fact that they do believe Christian McCaffrey will be healthy, Isaac Garendo emerged and only got better with each and more opportunities. They could say, you know what? Jordan has been JP has been a phenomenal running back for us, but the value's too good to pass up. Some team needs him. They want him. They're willing to trade us high compensation for him, and we can't pass it up. So I do see a world that exists where that happens. I think, whether you're like listening to Matt Mayoko or you're listening to, any of the other beat reporters, I think they've all kind of been alluding to the fact that this could be a potential outcome, that he could be traded. He could, be on the move, just for all the reasons that we've already discussed. So I'm not holding my breath in regards to the fact that just slam dunk guaranteed Jordan Mason is going to be on the roster next year. So we'll have to wait and see. But I want to hear from you guys if you believe the 49ers, it would be a bad choice to trade Jordan Mason, or should they keep him around? Um, I, I want to know from you, because if they keep him around, the following year they're going to have to pay him and or trade him, and they might not get as good of a value on him as they would if they were to trade him right now. So again, it's tough when we are in this portion of the offseason, because it's business time. It's time to move these chess pieces around, and it can be difficult because Jordan Mason might be someone's favorite player. And so we'll see how it goes, but you let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.